GuitarLessons.com, the #1 name in guitar lessons online.
Hey, in this lesson, we're going to learn all about bending. Now, there's a couple of different kinds of bends that we're going to talk about in this lesson. There's 3 different kinds, actually. One is going to be the half-step bend. The other is going to be a whole-step bend. And the final one, the third one, is going to be a blues bend. And we'll take each one of those in turn, and I'll explain to you what they mean. Okay, the first one we're going to do is a whole-step bend. And all a whole-step bends, all that really means is you're going to take a note. For instance, let's go to the 10th fret on our B string. Take your 3rd finger, put it on that fret, and push up on that note until it's the same pitch as the note that's 1 whole step away. So here's that note. That's the pitch we should be going for. So that's a good way to double check yourself to see if your bends are in the right pitch. So these are pretty precise bends. So if you'll notice, on my left hand, I'm using these 2 fingers as well, my 1st and my 2nd finger, to come help and support my 3rd finger and give it some more strength and push up on that string. My thumb is also coming over the top of the fretboard to give it a little extra support and a little extra Okay, now that you got the whole step bend down, let's take a look at a half step bend. Let's take this note on the 7th fret with our index finger, and we're going to bend it up to this pitch that's a half step away. So this note will change to this one by bending it. So that's all a half step bend is. So you'll have a whole step, and then you'll have a half step bend. They're very similar, it just takes a little more strength in your fingers to do a whole step. The next kind of bend we're going to do is called a blues bend. It's a little bit more nasty sounding, a little bit less precise, and it's going to have a lot of vibrato in it. So let's take an A minor pentatonic scale, something like this. So let's take a note from that blues scale and just bend it up and add some good vibrato to it and make it real raunchy sounding, real bluesy sounding. It's a lot less precise than the half step and whole step bends, but it's a lot more expressive too, so let's check it out. Take your pinky and put it on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, the B string, and you're going to bend that up. It's a whole step, but it's going to be less precise. Let me just demonstrate it for you real quick. So I'm not going exactly up to that note that's a whole step away. I'm kind of hovering around there, and once I get around the area, I'm giving it some good vibrato, pushing it up and down to give it a real soulful kind of sound. So those are the 3 types of bends that you're mostly going to be using in your playing. So now let's learn a little lick that incorporates a whole step and a half step together, and you can work on that. Okay? We're going to be in the key of G major, so you're going to grab with your 3rd finger, you're going to grab the 10th fret on your B string, just like we did earlier. Bend it up. Then with your pinky, you're going to grab the 10th fret on your high E string while that note is still bent up. Then you're going to hit the B string again on the 10th fret and let that bend down. So that whole thing together is. Then you're going to come to the 7th fret with your index finger, bend that up just a half step, and let it back down. And then you're going to grab a G to finish off the lick with your middle finger. So that whole thing together sounds like this. Now you want to double check yourself to make sure your pitch is good on your bends. Whole step away. And then double check your half step bend too. That's the note, the pitch that you want to bend up to. So the whole lick one more time. So take these bends and incorporate them into your playing, and practice them a lot because it'll help build up the strength in your left hand.